Hey guys, in this video I'm going to review this lithium iron phosphate battery from EnjoyBot. Seller reached me out and asked to do video review, and here's what I'm going to do right now. In the end of this video you will learn how one of you can get this battery for free. You will just have to pay shipping from California to your place. So this battery is a 12 volts 100 amp hours. In the package you will get battery itself, 2 bolts to attach lugs to the battery, 2 terminal covers to install on top, and this brochure where you can read about how to operate this battery and some information about it. The price for this battery as of today is $369, which makes about 29 cents per watt hour. For testing I'm going to do a capacity test using 0.2 C rating. That means if we multiply 100 amp hours to 0.2 we're going to get 20 amps. For discharge and for test equipment, I'm going to use this Renogy inverter charger and this shunt-based capacity meter. And before starting test, let's see this instruction and what we can learn from a website. So right here on the instruction we can see that this company is 20 years in a business with a battery. And going through this instruction before, I found few interesting items here. So on the next page we can learn about product information. All available batteries that this company is doing. They have 2 different series of the batteries. First is lithium iron phosphate without heating, and second smart low temperature heating batteries. So from this instruction it's saying when battery reaching low temperature it will engage heating film to heat up battery to operating voltage. You can read this information right here. Then on the next page we have information how to connect these batteries to MPPT charge controller, then information how to connect these batteries in a parallel or in a series, and then some additional information. So what I found interesting here is on this page on the note we read that this company has a service center in California and to provide customer service with 10-year warranty service. So this is first mention about warranty. On the next page some information about BMS, and then we have right here is warranty terms. So in these terms what I found interesting that item number 3 here is if we use battery from 3 years to up to 10 years we will provide free after sales service and maintenance services. So between 3 and 10 years there no mention about warranty. So what is it interesting? Additionally, here you can see that the cell of Chin's lithium iron phosphate battery pack has obtained this certification. So they referring to different brand, and this is strange part. If we look at the website, on the website from this battery we'll see that this company has experience over 30 years. So 20 years in right here in instruction and 30 years on the website, which is strange. Additionally, it's saying that it has 6 years warranty and lifetime technical support service. So basically mismatch between instruction which is going with battery and the website. Additionally, I went to Amazon and I searched for Chin's battery, and right here you can see that this battery looks exactly like that one. Okay, and then if we look at this sticker we'll see all characteristics for this battery. So operating voltage is 12.8 volts, which is 3.2 volts per cell for lithium iron phosphate. We have surge current of 300 amps for 1 to 2 seconds. Then it has 1280 watt hours. Here's the charging voltage. Here's a charging current. Maximum current is 50 amps, but recommended charging current is 20 amps, which is 0.2 C rating. Additionally, right here I can see typo in a charging word. Then for discharging, we can discharge continuously with 20 amps to get 5000 cycles from this battery. This is what they are claiming. Or maximum discharge current is 100 amps. If we're going to discharge this battery often with 100 amps, I guess we're going to get reduced lifetime for this battery. Maybe we'll still get 2000 cycles, maybe less, but here's what they are claiming. And right here is the same information that we did before. From a factory, if I just check multimeter, battery voltage is 13.13 volts. And now I'm just going to connect this to Renogy inverter charger, charge this battery with 20 amps, and then we'll do capacity testing. Alright, and now we are charging the battery with the recommended 20 amps. Okay, so about 21 amp. Let's wait till full charge, then we'll connect capacity meter and we'll do capacity test with 0.2 C rating. Alright, so the battery reached 14.6 volts and charger stopped charging the battery. Now I connected this shunt to negative of this battery and the capacity meter, and I'm going to start time lapse on a camera and just disconnect power. And we draw 16.6 amps, which is a little bit less than 0.2 C rating, but it's hard to adjust from it for 20 amps. Maybe I will add one tiny load to be at 20 amps. In 5 hours, we will see what is the capacity results for this battery. So inverter just shut down because of low voltage. Voltage dropped to 10.4 volts and we've got 99.7 amp hours, 1.28 kilowatt hours. So we've got full capacity. I can squeeze 0.3 amp hours more if I reconfigure inverter to lower voltage. But this battery is 100 amps capacity. Now let's disassemble this pack and let's see what is the build quality inside of this battery. Alright, so pack inside was pretty nicely secured. It was glued down to this box and it also has this foamy paddings around the battery to make sure it's not moving around. On the side of the battery we have BMS right here. What I like about BMS, it has not soldered but bolted connections for negative input and output with a split washer to make sure it's not gonna unscrew when vibration is going to happen. Additionally, what I can see right here, it's a grade A batteries because of these barcodes on the cells. So each cell has this barcode not destroyed, which is definitely great. And then we have temperature sensors attached right here on the side. So if we check temperature sensor, it has some spacing between cell and it used to have some spacing between cell and the battery. So if we check from this side, it was attached with some space, so it could not immediately report temperature from battery, but we're gonna check how this temperature sensor works. All balancing leads nicely connected right here, and for input and output we have for the positive side we have 6 gauge wire crimped, and on the negative side we have two 8-gauge wires coming into the BMS and out of the BMS. So now next step, I'm just going to check high and low temperature protection, and we will inspect BMS in more details. Alright, and here is a BMS inside. From my experience testing various BMSs, it's pretty good BMS considering amount of MOSFETs it has. And here is the back side of this BMS. At this point I'm going to attach this heat shrink back to radiator right here. We'll assemble back and we'll do some more additional tests. Okay, so the next step, let's try low and high temperature disconnect. Unfortunately, I cannot simulate exact temperature, but we'll just try ice cold water and hot water. We'll see if this temperature disconnect works at all. Just looking at characteristic, it should start charging at 0 Celsius. I would assume it should be BMS protected, but we'll see if it's gonna work at all. Low temperature disconnect failed. It's not disconnecting charging when sensor is sensing negative Celsius. I just googled this number and I told it's temperature sensor, but appears this is thermostat. So that means when it will reach 75 Celsius, which is mentioned here, it will just break connection between those two wires. So it's not temperature sensor, which is letting BMS know where the actual temperature and BMS deciding when to connect or disconnect battery. It's thermostat deciding. So if I pour this water on a thermostat right now and I just move my microphone right here, you will hear the sound, like clicking sound, when it's gonna open and then when it's gonna close back. Hopefully it's gonna be hearable. Okay, so it clicked once and now it's gonna click one more time when it's going to close back. Okay, so this tells me that this BMS doesn't have low temperature protection at all. So even they claiming that it's gonna cut off charging when temperature drops below 0 Celsius, but it's impossible because this thermostat works only at 75 Celsius. It doesn't work at low temperature. Okay, so let's move to the last step. Now I'm going to charge this battery back, fully charge this battery back, and then we're gonna drain this with 100 amps. And we're gonna do two tests. First, we'll see how well cells balance at top voltage, 365 volts. We'll see what is the individual cell voltage, and then we'll see how hot BMS is getting when we draining 100 amps from this battery. While charging this battery, I thought that it's possible that low temperature cutoff, low temperature sensor is built into BMS. So what I'm planning to do right now, I will just detach this BMS, I will put this in the freezer, so it's gonna reach negative Celsius temperature, then we'll connect this back and we'll see if it's going to allow to charge our cells. At this point I can confirm that this BMS doesn't have low temperature protection at all. This BMS was freezing for a few hours As you can see, the temperature is minus 10 Celsius, and BMS still allows to charge the battery. Okay, so now I'm just gonna fully charge this battery. We'll see what is the cell difference at high voltage. So we're reaching 14.6, which is maximum recommended charge voltage for this pack. Let's see what is the individual cell voltage we can read. So cell number 1, 358. Cell number 2, 352. Cell number 3, 350. And cell number 4, 363. So we have a little bit of difference in voltages, but again, this is okay for lithium batteries, and BMS protecting it doesn't allow to charge higher than 365. Okay, so next step, I'm going to connect this to inverter, and we'll see how this battery perform under heavy load. Okay, and we draw from this pack 120 amps. This is 20 amps more than maximum current, but let's see how this performs under heavy load. So maximum temperature for BMS I saw is 116 Fahrenheit, and the cells itself is about 80 Fahrenheit. And remember, this is 1C rating. I would not recommend to use this rating for too long, because it will decrease lifetime for the battery for sure. Okay guys, so what are the pros and cons for this battery in my opinion? The benefits, in general, I really glad to see that more and more manufacturers sellers start selling ready to go packs. It's much easier to buy this pack for the same price as you can buy BMS in the cells, and you don't have to assemble this pack, and it goes in a nice enclosure in a plastic box usually. Then for this particular battery, it's great to see that this is grade A cells. You can see like all cells straight. Then BMS is it looks like it's pretty nicely sized BMS for this pack. It was able to handle 100 amps easily. Then this box, before cutting, looks like this part was inserted right here, and I can touch that right there is a black sealant, so that means you can splash this battery with the water and it's not gonna go inside. For the cons, of course, as I mentioned before, is the typos right here on a pack and mismatched information between instruction, battery, and a website. For example, I found one more. Right here you can see that maximum parallel connection is 4 batteries in a parallel, but if you open instruction in a section about connected in parallel and series, you can see that right here we can read that we can do 10 pieces in parallel. If you spend so much time and energy designing and making this battery, even rebranding this battery, make sure you fix all of this information. So next con for me is this thermostat. So this BMS was never even designed to low temperature protection. In my opinion, I would mention this in the description, and people will trust much more in this brand. If you mention low temperature disconnect and BMS even not designed, so for me it's like a red flag. It's like questionable. Should I trust this battery at all? I emailed seller and asked, does it have low temperature disconnect? I will provide update as soon as I get reply. One more improvement that could be done with this battery, if you check size that need for the battery pack and the case, so case could be about 25% smaller than a battery. And in general, it's a pretty good battery, and it's a huge benefit that you don't need to assemble your pack itself. So price for this battery is about same as you're gonna get cells, grade A cells and the BMS. Okay guys, so now if you want to get this battery, it's going to be pretty simple. Just leave a comment how you're going to use this battery. The more interesting usage will get this battery, and if you don't want to get this battery, you can also help me to decide who is going to win. Just like comments whichever you like more, and the winner will be responsible for shipping this battery from Northern California. I will announce winner when this video is gonna get 10,000 views or by February 15. Doesn't matter how many views is going to be by February 15, but I will announce winner by this time, and you're gonna get this battery. I will assemble this back. You will have just to glue this seam. I tried to cut this pretty accurately, I would say, so you can restore this battery to almost brand new condition. Alright guys, I hope you like this review, and as always, thank you for watching and see you later.